Can you talk about the world of Defiance, the game, and where all this destruction has come from?
Sure, the world of Defiance is set in the open world of San Francisco. Players play the role of arc hunters in a changed Bay Area. Essentially, a group of aliens called the Votan Collective, 7 different races, had to flee their galaxy after a solar system threatening event. It was not the utopian society. They were all not friends. It was not rainbows and unicorns. They banded together for survival. They showed up at our doorstep because we're a habitable planet. Unfortunately, we were there. So we tried to negotiate a settlement accord with them. And while that was going on, a mysterious event happens and their arc ships blow up. This caused 2 things to happen. Their terraformers fell to the Earth and began doing their work in changing the Earth from what we know today to a new Earth. It also started war, because all of a sudden there's us fine human beings and 7 races put next to each other, not by choice. Because all those races weren't friends before, it was a real free-for-all and kind of brutal war. Sides would switch, alliances would change. The game and the show take place 33 years after this, so uneasy peace has begun to settle over the land. Some areas are more civilized than others. San Francisco is still very much a frontier. The terraforming is also settled, so there are certain things that are familiar and still there. The ruins of the Golden Gate Bridge is an example, and other things are pretty alien due to the terraforming. As an arc hunter, the player chases Goulanite, and in San Francisco there's really a second gold rush happening. And Goulanite is a new material created by terraforming, and it's one of the most valuable substances on the planet that happens to be a very high concentration in San Francisco.
What are some of the goals the player needs to achieve?
They need to stay alive, and they need to be very, very good with their guns. You know, Defiance really sort of tells 2 stories for the player. One is the individual story of the player as they progress through the world of Defiance, and then the world of Defiance sort of grows and moves on its own. So the player really needs to understand how the world works. It is a dangerous world and a threatening world, so at its core, Defiance is a third-person shooter, so gunplay and being very skillful at your gunplay is a key survival skill. And so whether it's using alien weaponry like the BMG or the Infector gun, or more standard Earth-based weaponry like a sniper rifle or pistols, knowing your way around weaponry is going to go a long way to your surviving. Vehicle play is a huge part of Defiance as well. So whether it's driving your own ATV or truck, or in multiplayer mode, driving the Cerberus, which is our 3-person vehicle with the driver. Passenger has a guided missile launcher, and the person in the back has a machine gun on a 360 turret. Yeah, it's fast-paced skills. Do the best.
As the game progresses and the show progresses, how will events impact one another this season?
Sure. Well, like I said, we have big crossovers every episode, from show to game and game to show. And I think I gave a good example of what those are. We have, more subtle stuff. Lockkeepers wear the same uniforms. We have Bear McCreary, who also did the music for Walking Dead and Battlestar Galactica, did music for both the show and the game, unique soundtracks for each. So not only will be this sense that if you're sampling both the game and the show, that, hey, I'm part of this bigger, broader universe, every single episode there are big, broad brushstrokes between the 2, but the game is on every minute of every day, and while the show's on 13 weeks a year, the game's on 52 weeks a year, so there's so much more content in the game. We just